শোনা যাচ্ছে? হ্যালো? হ্যালো, শোনা যাচ্ছে তো? হ্যালো, শোনা যাচ্ছে তো? হ্যালো, চলো তাহলে আজকের ক্লাসটা এবার স্টার্ট করা যাক। ঠিক আছে, এবার যদি কেউ মেসেজ তোমরা করো তাহলে আমি দেখতে পারবো। ঠিক আছে, বলছে দেখো, যদি এত রাতে কেউ জেগে থাকে না, সবাই সকালেই উঠে ভিডিওটা গুলোকে দেখে, তাই সকালেই ভিডিওর ভিউজগুলো বাড়ে। দু তিনজন তো কনস্ট্যান্ট আমার ভিডিওই দেখে, তাই হোক। ওয়াটার ফার্টিলাইজার বলছে, ফার্টিলাইজার ইজ এ ন্যাচারাল অর আর্টিফিশিয়াল সাবস্ট্যান্স। ঠিক আছে, containing the chemical elements that improve growth and productiveness of plants. ঠিক আছে, fertilizers enhance the natural fertility of the soil or replace the chemical elements taken from the soil by previous crops. The use of manure and composts as fertilizers is probably almost as old as agriculture. ঠিক আছে, modern chemical fertilizer include one or more of the three elements that are most important of plant nutrition: nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. ঠিক আছে, of secondary importance are the elements sulfur, magnesium and calcium. ঠিক আছে, টাইপস অফ ফার্টিলাইজার, একটা হলো নাইট্রোজেনাস ফার্টিলাইজার, একটা হলো অর্গ্যানিক নাইট্রোজেনাস ফার্টিলাইজার, তারপর হলো একটা ফসফেট ফার্টিলাইজার, একটা হলো পটাসিক ফার্টিলাইজার, একটা হলো কম্পাউন্ড ফার্টিলাইজার, একটা হলো কমপ্লিট ফার্টিলাইজার। ঠিক আছে, এটার প্রিন্টটা একদমই বাজে আছে। যারা প্রিন্ট করতে চাও বা আমার সাথে কথা বলতে চাও পার্সোনালি, তাহলে তারা ChemOr 2110 @, gmail.com-এ গিয়ে তোমরা যোগাযোগ করতে পারো। ঠিক আছে? আচ্ছা, নাইট্রোজেনাস ফার্টিলাইজার হলো, নাইট্রোজেনাস ফার্টিলাইজার আর ডিভাইডেড ইন্টু ফোর গ্রুপস। একটা হলো নাইট্রেট, একটা হলো অ্যামোনিয়া, একটা হলো অ্যামোনিয়াম সল্টস, আর একটা হলো chemical compounds containing nitrogen in the amide form. Okay, in the amide form, and plant and animal byproducts. ঠিক আছে? আচ্ছা, এবার যেগুলো যেগুলো রয়েছে আমরা সেগুলোই পড়বো। ঠিক আছে? ধরো রয়েছে যেমন অ্যামোনিয়াম নাইট্রেটটা যেমন আমাদের রয়েছে। ওকে, বলছে অ্যামোনিয়াম নাইট্রেট ইজ আ white crystalline salt containing of 33 to 35% of nitrogen. ঠিক আছে? 30% as nitrate, nitrogen, and another 50% as the mm, ammonia form. The ammonium form is not leached out easily from the soil. It is quick reacting and highly hygroscopic and cannot be stored under certain condition. It is explosive and there should be handled cautiously. ঠিক আছে? Nitro chalk is the trade name of the product. Nitro chalk. Nitro chalk. Okay, of the product formed by mixing ammonium nitrate with about 40% of limestone or dolomite. It contains 20.5% of nitrogen, 50% in the form of ammonia, and half as nitrate. Its continuous use makes the soil acidic. The, the presence of lime makes it useful for acid soils. ঠিক আছে? Urea. Urea is a white crystalline organic compound. It is highly concentrated nitrogenous fertilizer containing 45 to 46% of organic nitrogen. It is highly hygroscopic and cannot be stored well in harsh region. In overcome difficulty, it is also produced a granular pellet forms coated with non-hygroscopic inert material. It is highly soluble. It is highly soluble in water and rapidly. Okay, it is highly soluble in water and rapidly leached out from the soil. It is very quick acting and rapidly changed into ammonia when applied. It is applied during showing or as top dressing but never during germination, it is suitable for most crops and can be applied to all the types of soil. Okay, ঠিক আছে, ক্যালসিয়াম কুইনোলিয়াম নাইট্রেট। ওকে, ক্যালসিয়াম অ্যামোনিয়াম নাইট্রেট। আচ্ছা, এই পরের পাতাটা থেকে কিন্তু ভালো প্রিন্ট আছে। ওকে, আর কয়েকটা পাতায় একটু খারাপ প্রিন্ট আছে। কিছু করার নেই, এটা দুবার করে প্রিন্ট করা হয়েছিল, কারণ প্রিন্টারে কালি শেষ হয়ে গেছিলো। আর যে প্রিন্ট করেছে আমার স্টুডেন্টটা, সেই স্টুডেন্টটা প্রিন্টারে কালি নষ্ট, মানে পেজ নষ্ট করতে চায়নি, তাই একটা পেজে দুবার করে প্রিন্ট করেছে। কিছু বলার নেই আমার আর তাকে। যাই হোক, ইট ইজ ফাইন, it is a fine light brown or gray granular fertilizer. It is prepared from ammonium nitrate and ground limestone. Okay, it is almost neutral and can be applied even to acid soils. Okay, its nitrogen content varies from 25 to 28% of total nitrogen. 50% remains the ammonical form ammonical form, and the remaining 50% in nitrate form. Okay, নেক্সট চলে যাই আমরা অর্গানিক নাইট্রোজেন ফার্টিলাইজারে। আমরা এতক্ষণ যেটা পড়লাম সেটা হলো তোমার নাইট্রোজেন ফার্টিলাইজার। ঠিক আছে, তাহলে নাইট্রোজেন ফার্টিলাইজারের মধ্যে অতগুলো ভাগ পড়লাম আমরা। এবার আমাদের আছে কি অর্গানিক নাইট্রোজেন ফার্টিলাইজার, নাইট্রোজেনাস ফার্টিলাইজার। দিস ফার্টিলাইজার ইনক্লুড, দেখো এই পেজটা কিন্তু ভালো প্রিন্ট করা আছে। দিস ফার্টিলাইজার ইনক্লুড প্ল্যান্ট অ্যান্ড অ্যানিমালস বাই প্রোডাক্টস such as soil such as oil cakes, fish manure and dried blood from slaughterhouses. Okay, before use by the crops, these materials are converted by bacterial fermentation into কি লেখা আছে বোঝা যাচ্ছে না, যে digesable ammonium nitrogen and nitrate nitrogen. Okay, these fertilizers are therefore slow acting but supply available nitrogen for a longer period to the crops. Okay, oil cakes are usually supplied oil cakes are usually supplied is organic fertilizer throughout the country. They contain not only nitrogen but also some phosphoric acid and potash. A large quantity of organic matter is also present in the oil cake. Okay. In addition to the three fertilizing constituents like nitrogen, P2O5 and K2O, the oil cakes contain 2 to 15% of oil. ঠিক আছে? Dried blood or blood meal contains 10 to 12% of highly available nitrogen and 1 to 2% phosphoric acid. It is effective on all types of crops and all types of soils. Fish manure is available either as dried fish or as fish meal or powder. After extraction of oil from the fish, the residue can be used as manure. Okay, fish manure contains 5 to 8% of organic nitrogen and 4 to 6% of phosphoric acid. It is quick acting and suitable for all crops and soils. It is usually used as powder. Okay, ফসফেট ফার্টিলাইজার আমাদের নেই, পটাশিক ফার্টিলাইজার চাইলে পড়ে রাখতে পারো। ওকে, এখান থেকেই কোশ্চেন আসবে। ওকে, তাই জন্য আমি পুরোটা দিয়ে রেখেছি। In India, in India, most of the soils contain sufficient amount of potash. So, potassic fertilizer are applied only to those soils which are deficient in potash. Okay, যেটা কিনা deficient হয়। Potassic fertilizer are used as muriate of potash. Okay, আর সালফেট অফ পটাশ। ঠিক আছে, পটাশিয়াম ক্লোরাইড, পটাশিয়াম সালফেট। ঠিক আছে, নেক্সট কি? Compound fertilizer. This fertilizer contains two or three plant nutrients simultaneously. Okay, the both nitrogen and phosphorus are deficient in soil. A compound fertilizer that is amorphous can be used. It contains 16% of nitrogen and 20% of P2O5. Two different fertilizers can be mixed in correct proportion to produce the compound fertilizer. ঠিক আছে, এবার কমপ্লিট ফার্টিলাইজার কি? দেখো, কম্পাউন্ড ফার্টিলাইজার্স আর নট অলওয়েজ ওয়েল adapted to different kinds of soils. For that reason, mixed fertilizers containing two or more materials in suitable proportion are used to to এই পেজটা আবার একটু বাজে, বাট এটা আগেরটার থেকে অনেক ভালো বোঝা যাচ্ছে। দ্য নিডস অফ ডিফারেন্ট সয়েল mixture usually fulfill the nutrient deficiencies in a more balanced manner and require less labor to apply than different fertilizer used separately. ঠিক আছে, these mixtures containing all the three principal nutrients are called complete fertilizers. Our most soils usually remain deficient in these three elements. Okay, a special mixture a special mixture different crops are also produced by the manufacturers. ঠিক আছে, in some cases insecticides, fungicides and weed killers such as DDT, BHC and mercury, copper salts and 2,4-D are mixed into the complete fertilizers. The component fertilizers must compatible to ensure mutual reaction. Uneven mixing must be avoided. Monomeal and Mariette potash and sulfate of potash can be mixed with all the fertilizer. Okay, ঠিক আছে, এই পাতাটা আর অতটা পড়ার কিছু নেই। দেন আমরা চলে যাব ম্যানুফ্যাকচারার্স অফ সাম কেমিক্যাল ফার্টিলাইজার। ওকে, প্রথমে দ্য ইউরিয়া ম্যানুফ্যাকচারিং প্রসেস। ওকে, দেখো, NH3 CO2 NH2 C double bond O NH4 NH2 C double, ঠিক আছে, অ্যামোনিয়াম কার্বামেট, অ্যামোনিয়াম কার্বামেট, ঠিক আছে, NH2 C double bond O NH4 equal to NH2 CO NH2 H2O, ঠিক আছে। আচ্ছা, the urea manufacturing process shown in a figure is designed to maximize this reaction while inhibiting burette formation. Okay, 2 NH2 CO NH2 NH2 CO NH CO NH2 NH3 burette থাকবে। This reaction is undesirable not only because it lowers the yield of urea but decrease burette burns the leaves of plants. This means that urea which contain high levels of burette is unsuitable for use as a fertilizer. Okay, as a fertilizer. Okay, step 1 synthesis A, প্রথমে step 1 synthesis A, mixture of compressed CO2 and ammonia at 240 bar is reacted to form ammonium carbamate. Okay, ammonium carbamate তৈরি করে। This is an exothermic reaction and heat is recovered by a boiler which produces steam. The first reactor achieves 78% conversion of the carbon dioxide to urea and the liquid is then purified. The second reactor receives the gas, the first reactor and the recycled solution. Conversion of carbon dioxide to urea is approximately 60% at a pressure of 50 bar. The solution is then purified in the same process as was used for the liquid from the first reactor. Step 2, purification. The major impurities in the mixture at this stage are water from the urea production reaction and unconsumed reactants. Okay, the unconsumed reactants are removed in three stages. Firstly, the pressure is reduced from 240 to 17 bar and the solution is heated, which causes the ammonium carbamate to decompose to ammonia and carbon dioxide. ঠিক আছে, NH2 C double bond O NH4 equal to 2 NH3 plus carbon dioxide. At the same time, some of the ammonia and the carbon dioxide flash off. The pressure is then reduced to 2.0 barg and finally to minus 0.35 barg, with more ammonia and carbon dioxide being lost at each stage. By the time the mixture is at minus 0.35 barg, a solution of urea dissolved in water and free of other impurities remains. It at each stage, unconsumed reactants are absorbed into water solution, recycled, which is recycled, recycled to the secondary reactor. The excess ammonia is purified and used as feedstock to the primary reactor. ঠিক আছে, স্টেপ 3 কি বলছে? কনসেন্ট্রেশন 75%, স্টেপ 3, 55% of the urea solution is heated under vacuum, which evaporates off some of the water, increasing the urea concentration from 68%, okay, W W to 80% of WW at this stage. Molecular formula 5CaNH2 whole twice NH4NO3 10H2O. It is new nitrogenous and calcareous fertilizer calcareous fertilizer with characteristics of high efficiency and quickly make up nitrogen, applied in greenhouse and large area farmland. Okay, it improves the soil and granulates the soil, making it anti-caking. It guarantees fruits in gay color, in gray color actually ওটা হবে. Okay, the increases carbohydrate contents in fruit. The term calcium ammonium nitrate is applied multiple different but closely related formulation. One variety of calcium ammonium nitrate is made by adding powdered limestone to ammonium nitrate. Another fully water soluble version is a mixture of calcium nitrate and ammonium nitrate, which is catalyzes as a hydrated double salt 5CaNO3 whole twice NH4NO3 10H2O. বোঝা গেল? পারলে যদি তোমরা এটা দেখতে পারো তো দেখতে পারো, কোনো মানে কোনো এমন নয় যে এটা খুব দরকারি। ঠিক আছে, নেক্সট চলে আসে আমরা অ্যামোনিয়াম ফসফেটে। আচ্ছা, অ্যামোনিয়াম ফসফেট, ওকে। Ammonium phosphate is an ammonium salt of orthophosphoric acid. It is highly unstable compound with molecular formula NH4 whole 3 PO4. Because of its instability, okay, it is elusive and of number commercial value. A related double salt, ঠিক আছে, NH4 whole 3PO4 NH4 whole twice HPO4 is also recognized but is too unstable for practical use. Both triammonium salts evolve ammonia. In contrast to the unstable nature of triammonium salts, the diammonium phosphate মানে NH4 whole twice HPO4 monoammonium salt NH4 H2PO4 are stable materials that are commonly used as fertilizers to provide plants with fixed nitrogen and phosphorus. ঠিক আছে, triammonium phosphate can be prepared in the laboratory by treating 85% of phosphoric acid with 30% of ammonium solution. ঠিক আছে, H3PO4 plus 3NH3 equal to NH4 whole 3PO4. Okay. NH4 whole 3PO4 is colorless crystalline solid. The solid which has the odor of ammonia is readily soluble in water. The salt converts to diammonium hydrogen phosphate. ঠিক আছে, NH4 whole twice HPO4. ঠিক আছে, ammonium dihydrogen phosphate also known as monoammonium phosphate is a chemical compound with the chemical formula NH4H2PO4. ADP is a major ingredient of agricultural fertilizer. Okay, monoammonium phosphate is soluble in water. Acid crystallizes from it as the anhydrous salt in the tetragonal system as elongated prisms or needles. It is practically insoluble in ethanol. Solid monoammonium phosphate can be considered stable in practice for temperatures up to 200 degrees Celsius when it decomposes into gaseous ammonia NH3 and molten phosphoric acid H3PO4. At 125 degrees Celsius, the partial pressure of ammonia is 0.05 millimeter of Hg. A solution of stoichiometric monoammonium phosphate is acidic. Monoammonium phosphate is industrially prepared by exothermic reaction of phosphoric acid and ammonia in the correct proportion. Okay, ammonia আর phosphoric acid এর correct proportion NH6PO4 তৈরি হচ্ছে। Crystallization map precipitates. Okay, ম্যাপের প্রেসিপিটেট পড়ছে। ডাইঅ্যামোনিয়াম ফসফেট ড্যাপ যেটা বলা হয়, কেমিক্যাল ফর্মুলা NH4 whole twice HPO4, UPAC name diammonium ঠিক আছে, যে তোমার কি বলে, হ্যাঁ, diammonium hydrogen phosphate is one of a series of water-soluble ammonium phosphate salts that can be produced when ammonia reacts with phosphoric acid. Solid diammonium phosphate shows a dissociation pressure of ammonia is as given by the following expression and equation. ম্যাপের এটা একটা ট্যাপের, ওকে। Ammonium polyphosphate can be prepared by reacting concentrated phosphoric acid with ammonia. However, iron and aluminum impurities soluble in concentrated phosphoric acid from gelatinous uh, precipitates of sludges in ammonium polyphosphate at pH between 5 and precipitates, however, depending on the degree of polymerization, ammonium polyphosphate can act as a chelating agent to keep certain metal ions dissolved in solution. ঠিক আছে, ammonium polyphosphate is used as a food additive, emulsifier, and as a fertilizer. তারপর দেখ তারপর দেখে নিতে পারো তোমরা এই পাতাটা কিন্তু সেম ওই আগের পাতারটাই রিপ্রিন্ট হয়েছে। তারপরে আবার এই পাতাটা। ওকে, এবার আমরা অ্যামোনিয়াম নাইট্রেটটা পড়বো। দ্য ইন্ডাস্ট্রিয়াল প্রোডাকশন of ammonium nitrate entails the acid base reaction of ammonium nitric acid. Okay, HNO3 plus NH3 NH4 NO3. Ammonia is used in its anhydrous form and the nitric acid is concentrated with this reaction is violent owing to its highly exothermic nature. After the solution is formed, typically at about 83% of concentration, the excess water is evaporated to an ammonium nitrate content. Content of 95 to 99% concentration depending on grade. The AN melt is then made into prills or some beads in a spray tower or in granules by spraying the tumbling in a rotating drum. The prills or granules may be further dried, cooled, and then coated to prevent caking. These prills or granules are the typical AN products in commerce. Okay, কমার্সের ক্ষেত্রে এগুলো লাগে, ওসব জেনে লাভ নেই তোমাদের। The ammonia required for this process is obtained by Haber process. মনে হচ্ছে ক্লাস 9-এ আমরা হেবার প্রসেস শিখেছিলাম, আশা করি সবার মনে আছে। Process from nitrogen and hydrogen. Ammonia produced by the Haber process is oxidized to nitric acid by the Oswald process. Another production method is a variant of the Odda process. Okay. CaNO3 whole twice plus 2NH3 plus CO2 plus H2O 2NH4NO2 NO3 plus CaCO3. The products calcium carbonate and ammonium nitrate may be separately purified or sold combined as calcium ammonium nitrate. Okay, ammonium nitrate can also be made via metathesis reaction. ঠিক আছে, NH4 NH4 whole twice SO4 plus BaNO3 whole twice equal to 2NH4NO3 plus BaSO4 NH4 Cl plus AgNO3 equal to NH4NO3 plus AgCl. ওকে, এবার ক্যালসিয়াম অ্যামোনিয়াম নাইট্রেট করব 11 নম্বর পাতায় চলে যাব। ক্যালসিয়াম অ্যামোনিয়াম নাইট্রেটের জায়গাটা আমাদের পড়া হয়ে গিয়েছে। ওকে, 11 নম্বর পাতা আমাদের শেষ হয়ে গিয়েছে। এবার আমরা 13-14তে সাল সুপার ফসফেটটা পড়ব। ঠিক আছে, সুপার ফসফেট বলছে কি mono calcium phosphate is an inorganic compound with the chemical formula CaH2PO4 of AMCP or CMPA for anhydrous monocalcium phosphate. It is commonly found as monohydrate, okay, CMPT or MCPM. CH2PO4 whole twice H2O. Both salts are colorless solids. They are used mainly as superphosphate fertilizers and are also popular leavening agents. Material or relatively high purity are required for baking. It's produced by treating calcium hydroxide with ab- absorbic acid. Okay, CaOH whole twice plus A2H3PO4 plus equal to CaH2PO4 whole twice plus H2O2 মানে H2O 2H2O. Sample of CaH2PO4 tend to convert the dicalcium phosphate CaH2PO4 whole twice থেকে CaHPO4 plus H3PO4. Superphosphate fertilizer are produced by treatment of phosphate rock with acids using phosphoric acids. Fluorapatite is converted to CaH2O whole 4 whole twice, ঠিক আছে, CA5PO4। আচ্ছা, এইগুলো একটু আমি তোমাদের পিডিএফ দিয়ে দেবো, দিয়ে দেখে নেবে। দিস সল্ট ইজ কল্ড ট্রিপল সুপারফসফেট। সেভারাল মিলিয়ন tons are produced annual for used as fertilizer. Residual HF typically reacts with silicate minerals commingled with the phosphate ores to produce hexafluorosilicic acid. The majority of the hexafluorosilicic acid is converted to aluminum fluoride and cryolic for the processing of aluminum. These materials are central to the conversion of aluminium ore into the aluminum metal. When sulfuric acid is used, the product contains phosphogypsum and is called single superphosphate. Okay, dicalcium phosphate is the calcium phosphate with the formula of CaHPO4, and it is dihydrate. The uh, the di prefix is commonly named arises because the formation of HPO4 anion involves the removal of two proton from phosphoric acid H3PO4. It is also known as dibasic. এখনো অনেকটাই পড়তে হবে কিন্তু আর বেশি না, আর দু পাতা আছে। Calcium phosphate or calcium monohydrogen phosphate dicalcium phosphate is used as a food additive. It is found in some toothpaste and polishing agent and is a bio. Hmm. Just wait. আচ্ছা, calcium dihydroxide with phosphoric acid, which precipitates the dihydrate as a solid at 60 degree. The anhydrous form of precipitate H3PO4 plus CaOH whole twice equal to CaHPO4. Okay, H3PO4 plus CaOH whole twice equal to CaHPO4. Okay, to prevent degradation that would form hydroxyapatite sodium phosphate or trimagnesium phosphate octahydrate are indeed when, for example, dibasic calcium phosphate dihydrate is to be used in a polishing agent in toothpaste. In a continuous process, CaCl CaCl1 can be treated with NH4 whole twice HPO4 to form hydrate. Okay, CaCl2 NH4 whole twice HPO4 equal to CaHPO4 dot 2H2O. The slurry of the dihydrate is then heated to around 0 মানে 5 to 70 degree to form anhydrous CaHPO4 as a crystalline precipitate, typically as flat diamondoid crystal, which are suitable for further processing. Dibasic calcium phosphate dihydrate is formed in ব্রুশাইট। ঠিক আছে, ক্যালসিয়াম ফসফেটস এলিমেন্টস মানে সিপিসি, ক্যালসিয়াম ফসফেট cements which have medical application. An example of overall setting reaction in the formation of beta TCP and MCPM of phosphate cement is Ca3PO4 whole twice CaH2PO4 whole twice H2O plus 7H2O equal to 4 CaHPO4 H2O. Okay. ওকে, দেন দেখো, ট্রাইক্যালসিয়াম ফসফেট, সামটাইম abbreviated as TCP, is calcium, এটা আবার ওই থার্মোডাইনামিক্যালি কন্ট্রোলড প্রোডাক্ট ভেবো না, ট্রাইক্যালসিয়াম ফসফেট এটা কিন্তু ইজ ক্যালসিয়াম, ওই জন্য বলা হয়েছে যে সাম টাইম, নয়তো কিন্তু অল টাইমে হতো, কারণ টিসিপির নামে একটা আছে থার্মোডাইনামিক্যালি কন্ট্রোলড প্রোডাক্ট, তার জন্য এটাকে সাম টাইম বলা হয়েছে। is a called is a calcium salt of phosphoric acid with the chemical formula CaPO4 whole twice. It is also known as tribasic in calcium. It is a phosphate and bone phosphate of lime. It is a white solid of low solubility. Most commercial samples of dry calcium phosphate are in fact hydroapatite. It is exists as three crystalline for polymorphs, alpha alpha and beta. The alpha and alpha states are stable at high temperatures. At high temperatures, at high temperatures, tricalcium phosphate is produced commercially by treating hydro hydroxyapatite hydroxyapatite with phosphoric acid and slaked lime. It cannot be precipitated directly. Soluble phosphate and calcium salts NH4HPO4 plus CaNO3 whole twice, okay, is performed under carefully ATCP or calcium deficient hydroxyapatite CDHA, calcium HPO4 PO4 OH whole twice. Note CDHA is sometimes termed as apophytic calcium of triphosphate. Crystalline tricalcium phosphate can be obtained by calciming the precipitate beta C C3PO4 whole twice is generally formed. Higher temperature are required to produce alpha Ca3PO4 whole twice, and alternative to the wet procedure, heating a mixture of a calcium pyrophosphate and calcium carbonate. Okay, CaCO3, Ca2, P2O5, Ca P2O5 whole thrice plus CO2. Okay, এবার পটাশিয়াম ক্লোরাইড। দেখো, potassium chloride Potassium chloride, also known as KCl, is known as KCl. Potassium salt is a metal halide salt composed of potassium and chlorine. It is odorless and has a white or colorless vitreous crystal appearance. The solid dissolves readily in water and its solution have a salt-like taste. It could be obtained from ancient dried lake deposits. KCl is used as a fertilizer in medicine, in scientific application, and in food processing. The majority of potassium chloride produced is for used for making fertilizer called potash. Since the growth of many plants is limited by potassium availability, the two main types of potash are muriate of potash মানে এমওপি, potassium chloride and sulfate potash, যেটাকে বলা হয় এসওপি, potassium sulfate. While SOP typically sells at a premium to MOP, the vast majority of potash fertilizer worldwide is solid as MOP. Okay, potassium chloride is extracted from materials sylvite, carnallite, and potash is also extracted from salt water and can be manufactured by crystallization from solution, flotation, or electrostatic separation from suitable minerals. It is a byproduct of the vast majority of potassium chloride is produced as agricultural and industrial grade potash as a byproduct of the production of nitric acid or from potassium nitrate and hydrochloric acid. The vast majority of potassium chloride is produced as agricultural and industrial grade potash in Saskatchewan, Canada, as well as Russia, Bela, Belarus. Saskatchewan alone accounted for over 25% of the world's potash production in 2007. ঠিক আছে, potassium chloride is inexpensively available and is rarely prepared intentionally in the laboratory. It can be generated by treating potassium hydroxide with hydrochloric acid, KOH plus HCl, KCl plus H2O2. This conversion is an acid-base neutralization reaction. The resulting salt can then be purified by recrystallization. Another method would be to alloy potassium to burn the presence of chlorine gas, also a very exothermic reaction. 2K plus Cl2 equal to 2KCl. ঠিক আছে, এবার চলে আসি আমরা পটাশিয়াম সালফেটে। কতক্ষণের ক্লাস হলো? 1 hour class already done. লোককে আমি সাবস্ক্রাইব করতে বলছি আর লোকে আনসাবস্ক্রাইব করছে, কি অবস্থা! পটাশিয়াম সালফেট, দেখো পটাশিয়াম সালফেট or potassium sulfate is also called sulfate of potash, arcanite, or archaically potash of sulfur. Is the inorganic compound with formula of K2SO4, a white water soluble solid. It is commonly used in fertilizers, providing both potassium and sulfur. The dominant use of potassium sulfate is a is as a fertilizer. K2SO4 does not contain chloride, which can be harmful to some crops. Okay, potassium sulfate is preferred for these crops, which include tobacco and some fruits, vegetables crops that are less sensitive may still require potassium sulfate for optimal growth. If the soil accumulates chloride from irrigation water, approximately 1.5 million tons were produced in 1985, typically by the reaction of potassium chloride with sulfuric acid, analogous to the Mannheim process for producing sodium sulfate. The process involves intermediate formation of potassium bisulfate, an exothermic reaction that occurs at room temperature. KCl plus H2SO4 equal to HCl plus KHSO4. The second step of the process is endothermic, requiring energy input KCl, KHSO4, HCl, K2SO4. এই পেজটাও ভালোভাবেই পড়া যাবে। And this is the last page. These two pages are the last. Compound fertilizer which obtain NPK can often be produced by mixing straight fertilizers. In some cases, chemical reaction can occur between the two the two or more components. For example, mono ammonium and diammonium phosphate, which provides plant with both N and P, are produced by neutralizing phosphoric acids. সব একটু চ্যানেলটিকে সাবস্ক্রাইব করে দাও। আর জাস্ট 3টে সাবস্ক্রাইবার বাকি, কে আনসাবস্ক্রাইব করলো কি জানে। যাই হোক, তো তাহলে দেখো NH3 plus H3PO4 equal to NH4 H2PO4. So 2NH3 plus H3PO4 equal to NH4 whole twice HPO4. Many soils require adding several essential nutrients to alleviate plant deficiencies. Farmers to select the combination of single nutrient fertilizer to apply fertilizer that combines severe nutrients into each particle. This combinations fertilizer, composed or complex, can often advantages of convenience in the field, economic savings, and case and ease the in meeting crop nutrition নিডস। এত রাতেও যে আমার ভিডিও দেখছে তাকে খুবই থ্যাংক ইউ। প্লিজ চ্যানেলটা সাবস্ক্রাইব আর ভিডিওটাকে লাইক করে দাও। আর চ্যানেল যদি সাবস্ক্রাইব করে থাকো তাহলে তাকে তো খুবই বড় থ্যাংক ইউ। প্রোডাকশন manufacturers make compound fertilizer by using basic fertilizer materials such as ammonia, ammonium phosphate, urea, sulfur, and potassium salts. There are many methods used for making these fertilizers with the specific manufacturing processes determined by the available basic components and the desired nutrient content of the finished product. Here are four brief example. কি কি এক্সাম্পল দেখো, কম্প্যাকশন মেথড কি involve binding small fertilizer particle together using and compaction a cementing agent. Okay, of of a uh, of a chemical bond, ঠিক আছে, various nutrients rations can can't combine using undersized particle that may not be suitable for other applications, ঠিক আছে। Accretion based fertilizer made by repeatedly adding a thin film of nutrient slurry which is continually dried, building up multiple layers until the desired granule size reached. Okay, pipe cross reactors are used to chemical melt NH3 acid containing S or phosphone and other nutrients such as K sources. Okay, micronutrients into a solid fertilizer with the desired nutrients content. The nitrophosphate processes involves reacting phosphate rock with nitric acid to form mixture of compounds containing N and P. If a given source is added during the process, solid fertilizer with NPK will result. Agriculture will use compound fertilizer contain multiple nutrients in each individual granule. They differ from blend of fertilizer mixed together to achieve desired average nutrient composition. The difference allows farmers to spread compound fertilizer so that each granule delivers a mixture of nutrient as it dissolves in the soil. The eliminates potential for segregation of nutrient source during the transport or application. The multiple nutrient granules of the compounds fertilizers also allow the farmers to achieve uniform distribution of micronutrients throughout the root zone. These fertilizers are especially effective for applying as initial nutrient does in advance planting. There are certain ratios of nutrients available from the fertilizer dealer, ঠিক আছে, from the fertilizer dealer tailored for specific and crop condition. This approach offers advantages of simplicity in making complicated fertilizer decisions, but does not allow farmers the flexibility to blend fertilizer to meet specific crops requirements. Turf managers and home homeo homeomer often find compounds fertilizer special desirable. ওকে, এবার আমরা মিক্সড ফার্টিলাইজার পড়বো, এটাই আজকে আমাদের লাস্ট টপিক। ভালো করে পড়ে নাও, বেশ তাহলেই শেষ হয়ে যাবে। মিক্সড ফার্টিলাইজার টাইপ typically refers a fertilizer obtaining two or more of the elements of nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium NPK, which are essential for promoting plant growth and high crop yields. They are obtained by thoroughly mixing the ingredients neither manually nor mechanically or non mechanically. NPK mixture fertilizer are formulated and recommended by agricultural scientists to to enhance the output of crops by giving specific and exclusive blend of plants nutrients. They are slow increasing by nature, remain the field for a long time. They are tailor made as pillar of the soil and are crop specific. Mixed fertilizer have number of advantages, a few of them being use of advantages গুলো, use of mixed fertilizer results in reduction of labor cost as applying mixture consumes lesser time as compared to applying components separately. Okay, less time নাই ওগুলো। Micronutrients which help in increase soil organic matter content are applied in small amount to the soil. They can be incorporated in fertilizer mixture. These facilities uniform soil application of plant nutrients. If a proper mixture suits a particular soil type and crop, the use of fertilizer mixture leads to balanced man- manuring. It results in higher crop yields. And the last one হলো being in granulated form, mixture have a better physical condition and hence their application is easier. Residual acidity for fertilizer can be controlled by neutralizes the mixture. Okay, residual acidity of fertilizer, residual acidity সেটা কমায়, can be controlled থাকে by neutralize the mixture. নিউট্রালাইজ করা হয় মিক্সচারটাকে, তাই জন্য রেসিডুয়াল অ্যাসিডটাও নিউট্রালাইজ করা যায়। ওকে, আমরা তাহলে পড়ে নিলাম এতদূর পর্যন্ত। পুরো পিডিএফটা আজকের ক্লাস এতটুকুই থাকবে। কাল সকালবেলা আমরা কার্বোহাইড্রেট কেমিস্ট্রির উপর ক্লাস আনবো, ঠিক আছে? তো সবাই রেডি থেকো, কালকে বোর্ডে ক্লাস হবে কার্বোহাইড্রেট কেমিস্ট্রি অবশ্যই করে, ঠিক আছে? তো সবাই রেডি থেকো আর চ্যানেলটিকে সাবস্ক্রাইব করে দাও, ভিডিওটাকে লাইক করে দাও। গুড নাইট, বাই বাই।